Hey guys, it's Misty with My Paper Cuts, and I'm coming on today to share a set of cards I made for Freaky Friday. This is a hashtag that was started by Susan over at Craft Adventures with Susan Tootsie Tucker, and it's just an opportunity to share anything that you've been making or that you're working on that is either with some freaky stamps or Halloween themed or anything up that alley. It's basically just a chance to kind of get out some of your dark side or freaky stamps and images and paper and whatever you have and just get working on some fun projects. So my project today, I actually intended to share last Friday, and I didn't do a Freaky Friday share last Friday because I wasn't really sure how I felt about these cards. But I sat on them for a while, and I decided when I came back into my room that I actually really like them. So I started with this stamp here. This is a woodblock stamp. It is from, I think I got this at Michael's. It is just called a raven background stamp. And it's a good size stamp, and it's got a lot of text and the image of the raven with like a witch's or wizard hat on. It's a really cool stamp. And so I decided I kind of wanted to do an emboss resist technique. And so here is the card. Now they're going to be really shiny, so I apologize now for any glare. But what I did was I used some of the Distress Mica stains over the top of the emboss resist. And I have them in all sorts of different colors here, but I feel like this one's probably going to show up the best on camera, but I will show them all. So I stamped the image in just clear embossing powder and then sprayed the whole thing with the Distress Mica stains. I did try to use the Lindy stains on this, and the Lindy stain wanted to, or sprays, wanted to stick to the embossing more than the mica stain did. And in some places it still stuck to it pretty quick before I had a chance to buff it off. So lesson learned, next time I'll buff it off sooner. But that is how I did the background. The background itself is cut out with this die set here from Penny Black. It is the, I can't remember, it's just the distressed rectangles. It's one of my favorite dies. I use it all the time. And then I kind of wrinkled up the edges, and I put a chunk of foam in the center so that I could get that kind of waved, kind of parchmenty look, giving it some dimension. These cards are definitely not ones that could be mailed, so that I knew I was going dimensional with the rose, so I just decided to embrace the dimension and make it real lumpy and bumpy. And the rose itself is actually made with my Heartfelt Creations Classic Rose. I only used the die because I was making it out of black. And then I have the mold as well. I can't live without my flower molds from Heartfelt. So I made some black roses, and I actually have a whole jar of leftover pieces because I know I'll make more black roses for Halloween. So I always save the pieces I don't use. The center of the rose here is some of these mini art stones from Prima. These things get everywhere when you use them. They run away, they roll all over the place. It's like having sand everywhere. But I put them in the center of the rose, and that was part of why I didn't like these cards last week, was because this was just too white. But what I did to kind of correct that was I used some of the Prima wax, and I have the old style in the white gold. I love this stuff. I actually have tubes of it too, but I'm still using this wax. Part of what I love about this is just the smell. I'm one of those weirdos that I just love the smell of this. But I just hit the highlights of the leaves and the rose with that, and then I used one of my brushes, one of these style of brushes that I picked up a few weeks ago, and just use that to get the wax down on top of those art stones, and I like the way that looked much better. So try to bring that up close so you can see. It looks pretty messy when you get real close, but this is a mixed media-ish card, so it can be a little messy. And then it needed some more, something behind it. And originally I was gonna do feathers, but I decided that was a bit much. So I actually had this set, this David Tutera set that, it's a floral set, but it has this really cool, I think it's supposed to be like a leaf, but it's, I'll take it out so you can see. It's this piece right here. And what I did was I just kept the two dies together because they are two separate dies for layering, but I taped them together and then I ran it through my die cutting machine. So I got the outline piece and the inner piece, and then I just kept them apart and used them. And I think they look kind of like feathers. So I added that for just dimension, going in without adding actual feathers, which is really what I wanted to do. And then, I don't know, hopefully the light is catching them. It's really hard to see on camera, but there are some diamond dots on here that are kind of this oil slick color. They're really cool. Those are just scattered throughout, and like I said, when they catch the light and they glint back, it's really, really cool. And then on each card there is some strips behind of either a metallic paper or a holographic paper to tie into the color that I used of the mica stain. So I didn't really want to do brown, so I did do orange on these broomstick ones, but you get the idea. And then the inside, I don't know if this will pick up on camera, but I used the same stamp and I stamped the background with this Whisper amalgam ink. This is a really good ink if you want to do like no line coloring, and it's so light that you can see it in the background, but somebody writing a message on top of it would, you wouldn't cover it up completely, but it also doesn't distract from the message that's being written. So I'm hoping that I'm catching that in the light just right so you can see it. But so the card itself is pretty basic. Like I said, I'm not super happy with it, but I decided I was happy enough with it to share. So here's another one. This one I splattered a little bit on. And then I did 2 in the purple. So I do like the purple. It definitely stands out. And then I ended up with 3 in the green. The green looks really cool. The only reason I don't have the same number in each one is just because some of them just didn't turn out very well. This one turned out very clear. I buffed this one a little bit sooner than the other ones. And then I have 3 more that are just experiments. This one is the silver. This one is the blue. I wasn't sure how I felt about that one. And then this one is the candlelight, I think it's called. It's the yellow, but it looks really, really gold. So that is my card share for #Freaky Friday. Make sure you go check out Susan. She is definitely a queen of Halloween, and I'm sure she has something fantastic to share today. All right, you guys, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.